Back in the day when film was the only game in town, if you shot a lot of it, you could save money by purchasing it in bulk, and you still can actually. Many 35mm film stocks are still available in long rolls, usually 100 feet long. And of course, you can't just buy these rolls and drop them into your camera. You need to respool them into regular sized rolls in film cassettes. Now, comparing costs between just buying pre-spooled rolls and rolling your own, you could save about 30 or 40% with bulk loading. There are some caveats though, and I'm going to get into those in a second. But for now, let's just take a look at this one right here. This is the one that I used to use when I was a kid, and I started bulk loading my film back when I was a teenager. That would be the early 1980s. I shot a lot of black and white film for the local paper and for my high school journalism class and for the yearbook and things like that. And so yeah, I used one just like this, and it served me well. Now I recently acquired a vintage bulk loader called the Daylight Bulk Film Winder by Lloyd's. There's a new version of this bulk loader available online too, and they're calling it the Legacy Pro Lloyd 35mm Daylight Bulk Film Loader. Now that's quite a name, and it's probably the price that they're charging for this thing probably has something to do with the number of words that they have to use in the name of the product. But it works pretty much the same. It looks like it does. It looks like it works pretty much the same as the original here. And with that said, let me just go ahead and show you how this works, how to load your own rolls of film. Okay guys, what we're trying to end up with is a roll of film like this, regular 35mm factory loaded roll of film. This is a regular, store-bought film cassette, already loaded with film. I think most people have seen something like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our bulk film loader, we're going to open it up, place a roll of bulk film inside, and we're going to do that in total darkness or in a changing bag. You can't do that in normal lighting conditions, you'll just ruin the film. But once we do that, it's ready to go, and then you can do the rest of your bulk loading in normal lighting conditions. Now we're going to load our film into cassettes like this. These are reusable 35mm film cassettes used with bulk loading. Now with this Lloyd's loader, I have to remove this handle before I do anything else, before I open this door, and then that's how we can get that film cassette inside. So just take a look at these two. What I'm going to do is remove the top off of this one, take out the spool, and then make sure that I secure the film to the spool like this. What we don't want to happen during normal use, when you got that film loaded in your camera, you just don't want this to pop off of the spool and mess things up for you. So we're going to place this make sure we have that lid secured, and place it right here. This is where the handle is going to meet up with the spool once the door is closed. As we close the door, and place that handle to meet up with the spool. Right now, as you can see here on this chart, the number of turns determines the number of exposures, or how many frames you're going to get on that cassette. So let's say that I just want to go for a good 10 exposures. I mean, normally you're probably going to go for the 36, but just for the sake of this demonstration, I'm just going to go for 10, and that says 13 turns. So I don't think this is, 100% accurate, but it's close enough. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we'll cut it preferably between the sprocket holes and not directly on the sprocket holes. And then we'll take a look at this. You see how on these factory loaded rolls, there's a taper here, and this creates a nice little film leader. Now, why do we need that? Because on some cameras, that take-up spool is set up for a leader. So you'd place it in the camera like this, and then you'd meet up the film with that leader. And so, you know, if that's the case in your camera, trying to load the roll into there is not going to work without a leader. But that's easy enough to take care of. Now, they make a lot of templates and gadgets to help you size and cut a leader. But you know, it's easy enough just to do yourself. Just eyeball it. You can see right here, about 8 sprockets in and maybe about halfway down should do the trick. So it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to work. And this is pretty close, I think. So then you can just pop it into the camera like this. You meet up with the take-up spool. Make sure it gets in those sprockets. And you're good to go. Okay guys, as a bonus, I'm going to show you something that other people won't show you in their bulk loading videos, and that's because they don't want to ruin that expensive big bulk roll of film. But I'm going to show you how you actually load that big bulk roll. Now, this is kind of dirty because it's old, it's been sitting in storage for a long time, so don't give me any grief about that. I got this gifted to me from a friend. So the actual bulk roll, you know, this has been partially spent. The actual bulk roll is probably about this big, and what you'll do is it comes with this little core in the middle with a hole in it, and so that goes right onto there. You'll feed it through that little light trap right there. Close it back up. Did I mention you do all of this in the dark? Just in the dark or in a changing bag, complete darkness, you need that. Now once it's locked and loaded in there, you are good to go. So you can use this in normal lighting conditions like this, and use it just as we went over before. So there it is. You can get 18 to 20 rolls of 36 exposures each out of a 100-foot bulk roll of film. And like I said before, you can save some money doing it this way, but there are some important things to remember. For one, some loaders, like this one, run the film strip through a velvety material right here. See, the film will run through here, and you know, if debris gets caught in that material, it could scratch your entire roll of film on the way out. That, of course, would ruin it and cause you a lot of grief. Now, the film cassettes also have a cloth or velvety light trap material, just like the pre-rolled ones do. But see, with these, you're going to want to reuse them, and with reuse, you might run into, you know, the same problem you'd have if debris got stuck in the loader. That can damage the film as it winds through the camera. All right, so the question is rolling your own film to save a few dollars worth it, or is it worth spending a little more to have the convenience and peace of mind that you might get with factory loaded film? That's something you're gonna have to decide for yourself. But you know, whatever you do, you might just try this for, you know, just to have the experience of loading your own film. See if you like it. I know that, you know, if you shoot a lot of black and white film like I do, you might save some money by doing it this way. In any event, guys, I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. This was a lot of fun. Hey, as usual, if you like this video, go ahead and click that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and click subscribe. Leave me a comment. I guess that's about all I have for you today. I'll see you next time.